Good afternoon, children. Welcome back to our chapter on Imperial Capital Vijayanaga. In the last class, we discussed about the important features of Royal Center, and so many temples were found, and so many big structures were found. And among these two important buildings was the audience hall and Mahanavami Dibba, that we already come to know. What are the features of audience hall and what are the features of Mahanavami Dibba, that we are come to know. Then next we will see another important building in the Royal Center, and that was a Lotus Mahal. That was called the Lotus Mahal. Lotus, we know, the flower lotus. Unlike it's the shape, there was a building. And this is the most beautiful buildings we can find in the Royal Center of Vijayanaga. And it was this royal building that was named by British travelers in the 19th century. The British travelers who visited these places or conducted their studies, that people gave this name Lotus Mahal. And the travelers were not sure about, the archaeologists were not sure about for what purpose the building was used for. But one of the suggestions given by Mackenzie was that it is functioned as a council chamber. It is functioned as a council chamber where the king met with his advisors. King usually met with his advisors and they discussed the matters related to the country. And so these are the important use according to Mackenzie. This building was used for. So one of the important building in the Royal Center was the Lotus Mahal. It was very beautiful one. It was named by British travelers in the 19th century. We are not sure about for what purpose the building was used. According to Mackenzie, he was a traveler and who studies archaeology. And Mackenzie, this was used as a council chamber where the king met with his advisors. We will see some important temples found in the Royal Center. In the beginning of this topic, we already come to know there were so many buildings were there in the Royal Center, and among this, one of the most important temple was Hasra Rama temple. So most of the temples were situated in the Royal Center. And among these important temples, one of the spectacular means one of the very beautiful or eye-catching type of building was Hasra Rama temple. And it is believed that was used by king and his family. This temple was used by the king and his family. And the images in the central shrine was missing. The deity in the shrine was missing. It is a shrine where the main deity is situated. The small temple like thing we can see inside the temple, that is called a shrine. So the central deity in the shrine was missing, but we can see the wall and the sculptures there. And in the inner walls, the scenes from Ramayana were carved. So that is still there, but the central deity was missing. So among the temples, one of the important, beautiful, eye-catching temple was Hasra Rama temple, and it was used by king and his family. Images in the central shrine was missing, but the walls and its sculptures were survived, and we can see in inner wall the scenes from Ramayana was carved. This point was missing in last day's class. It's about urban core. We already come to know in the Royal Center we can see so many roads. All these roads leads to urban center. But in the urban center we have little archaeological evidences of ordinary people's houses. In the urban center, the settlement of ordinary people was very less. We have no that much archaeological evidences to show the ordinary people's houses in urban center. And in the northeast corner of the urban center, we can see the houses of rich traders. And here also we can see the houses of Muslim people. Muslim people's residential area was also situated in the northeast corner of the urban center. And where the rich traders' houses also we can see. How we can find these are the rich people's residential area? Because from there we got so many Chinese particles of Chinese porcelain. And from that it is a very valuable, very costly material used to construct houses. So with that evidences, we come to know in the northeastern corner of the urban center, we can see the houses of rich traders and the Muslim. Rich traders were mainly the Muslims. So the rich traders and Muslim traders residential area we can find in the northeastern corner of the urban center. Then here we can also see so many tombs and mosques, and its functions were different. Different functions were performed by the tombs and mosque in this area. But the architectural style of the mosque were like the temples in the Hampi, the mandabas in the temples of Hampi. And the Hampi, that is the old, that is the name of Vijayanagara Empire. This is the new name of Vijayanagara Empire, Hampi. And so in this Hampi we can see so many temples and mandabas. And the mosque is also constructed like in the architectural styles of mandabas. According to the description of Barbosa, Barbosa was a Portuguese traveler who visited India in the 16th century. According to the description of Barbosa, the houses of the ordinary people in Vijayanagara Empire was constructed with grass and straws. That is why it was not survived. So house of the ordinary people were thatched. Thatched means it was constructed with the grass or straw. That is why all these things were perishable. That is why we are not able to find any evidences of ordinary people's houses. And well buildings were constructed according to the occupations. According to the occupation, according to the their wealth, they constructed different types of houses, and these big houses had long streets and open places. So rich people constructed big buildings according to their occupation, and these big buildings had long streets and open places. And field surveys conducted in this area indicates that in the royal center we can see numerous shrines, and also small temples. And the people worshipped different types of god. For different types of community, the different types of gods were existed. That is why in this center we can see numerous shrines and numerous small temples. Different communities worshipped different types of god. That is why numerous shrines and small temples found in the field survey. And see what are the sources of water for the people living in town. The sources of water for people living in the town were wells, rainwater tanks and temple tanks. The tanks connected with the temple tanks, wells and rainwater were the water sources for the people who lived in the town area.